Chuck Schumer and the old system, man, they're going to have to stand aside. It's going to be the radicals and the revolutionaries, the Democrat Party, who are going to change all these things for you.
I was scrolling through, and our team did a good job of getting some of the reactions that are pouring in on the Democrat side as they are absolutely furious over Chuck Schumer and the Democrats bending the knee. And I grabbed several of these. First of all, David Axelrod, what is the most lasting impact going to be from the shutdown? Buck, I think it's very likely going to be that Chuck Schumer is in many ways essentially done as the minority leader in the Senate. And David Axelrod said as much. He's likely cooked as the Democrat leader. This is cut 5.
You David Axelrod, do you think Schumer could be in trouble here with the left flank of the party?
I think he's been in trouble. I think he is in bigger trouble now. I think Senator Schumer's been there since 1982. My guess is that he won't be leader of the party in 2027 after this election, unless something really surprising happens.
You don't buy it, Buck? You think he's going to be back, or you just don't think they have anybody else that wants to step into the fray and actually take the slings and arrows?
This is the game. Come on. How many times? I'll put it to you this way. One of the ways that I think you can often objectively assess the other side is looking at a similar dynamic on your own side. How many years have we all sat around on the right as Republicans been like, Mitch McConnell's a rhino. Mitch McConnell is, he doesn't represent. And yet Mitch McConnell's got the checkbook. He's got the donor network. He's got the power, and everybody falls in line. Now, that is changing, but it's changing because Mitch is basically not, he's non-functional at this point. Right? It's just pure age. He's aging out of that role. There's no similar situation in my mind with Schumer. Now, if Schumer were up in the next year, maybe he would have Clay. By the time he's up in 28, everyone's going to be focused on something else, namely the presidential election, the future of the party, all this other stuff. And Schumer's going to play I'm the steady hand. I know this game. The president gets to be the next generation of Democrat leadership. He needs somebody like Chuck Schumer. So I'm just telling you, I don't buy this at all, but Axelrod is smart insofar as this is what the left wing of the Democrat base wants to hear right now. They want to hear that Chuck is going to be pushed out and blah, blah, blah. They're a bunch of babies.
Isn't it funny how quickly we went from the Republicans are going to have to deal with an immense civil war inside of their own party, last week, to this week being their major issues now in the Democrat side? I think one of the things, I want to play a couple of cuts here from Chuck Schumer, just how unpopular he is. But I think one of the biggest things we're dealing with, Buck, is there's a profound anger that is out there in America right now. And I don't know if you buy into this. I think it's a lingering aftershock of COVID. I think and I think social media exacerbates it. I think there's just a lot of angry people. And the question is, it reminds me, I know you were a Lost viewer back in the day. You know how the smoke monster just shows up and you want to try to avoid being the target of the smoke monster on any given day? It feels like there's just a shifting cloud of anger. Or we could go Ghostbusters 2, the goo, when everybody was getting the goo and was just angry. I feel like that characterizes America today.
I like the Eye of Sauron. You put that ring on, and wherever Sauron, then you have the eye. It all of a sudden, it's actually not called the Eye of Sauron. One of you Lord of the Rings nerds is going to yell at me for it, but it's that's basically what it is. The big scary fire eye that looks at people. Yes, I think there's truth to that, Clay. And remember, a lot of this is the game of making people who are very upset at the right people. Right? This is what
channel the anger.
So what you want is an energized left-wing base going into this midterm, and you get them to vote, and then Chuck Schumer's still in charge. This is the whole game, right? This is the way they're going to play this, I think. That's also why I've got to say Gavin Newsom, he sees this too. We've talked about how he's the likely, we're predicting he's the likely Democrat nominee. He'll play this game. He'll be Mr. I ran the biggest state in the country, 5th largest economy in the world, and I'm so damn handsome. But if he has to have AOC as his vice president, he'll do that, right? If he has to bring in the left, make them feel like they have a seat at the table. And this is the whole situation. This is the way it's going to go. So I don't buy this at all about how Schumer is done. He's cooked is the term that everyone likes to use for these things now. Schumer is he's a wily character, man. That guy's he's been in the game as long as I've been alive. He's been a senator.
It's true. Look, Harry Enton, I will say, on CNN says that Chuck Schumer is the least popular Democrat Senate leader ever. And then we'll have some fun with him compared to AOC. But cut 13. Listen to this on CNN.
What about Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer? I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it comes to Chuck Schumer. Look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is, in fact, Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater with Democrats. His own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
Here's the other part on this, Buck. I know we talked about this yesterday, and I got the year wrong because it's been talked about so much. I thought that Schumer was up in 26, actually 28. His best benefit, I think, is that AOC may not want to be the senator. I think she may well run for president, and it's hard to run for both. But listen to how much more popular AOC is in net favorability among New York Democrats. I think if she announced, Buck, that she was going to run, I think Schumer would announce he wasn't going to run because I don't think there's any way he could win a Democrat primary against her. I think it would be somewhat similar to what we saw happen with Cuomo going up against Mamdani, except AOC would start way more popular than Cuomo did, and certainly, way more popular than Mamdani. Here is cut 14, giving you a sense of just how underwater Schumer is in New York.
How do New York State Democrats feel about Chuck Schumer? And take a look here, the net favorable among New York Democrats. Chuck Schumer is above water with the Democrats in his home state, but just by 16 points. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running way ahead. If she decides to challenge Chuck Schumer and come 2028, she's got a real leg up on the competition. I dare say at this point she would be the favorite to beat him, which would be something that would just blow my mind, even just a few years ago, given that Chuck Schumer, of course, is a New York born bred type of guy.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Look at that, 30 points ahead. My goodness gracious.
So the question, Buck, I think is, does AOC want to be in the Senate or not? Because I think it's going to be hard for Schumer to win a Democrat primary against someone of the left like AOC.
We'll see. It would be hard if the election were now, Clay. This is an eternity we're talking about here. 2028 cycle. Remember, it's going to be a presidential election year. We don't even know. And you're talking about AOC running against Schumer. She's going to run for president. So I think we see that the same way. She's going to run for president. So he's not going to have a Democrat,
challenger like her. Now, one thing to keep in mind, we'll get an early preview of this. There is a report that Hakeem Jeffries is going to get challenged by a leftist in the House next year. Hakeem Jeffries, obviously the House minority leader. We have two New York City guys that are basically running the Democrat Party in the Congress right now. And so that will give you an idea about the energy there and whether there's any opportunity to topple leadership like we already saw Mamdani do. This is one of Mamdani's top assistants.
Yes, all true. All very true.
The ugliness of anti-Semitism is showing itself again, both worldwide and here at home. Synagogues, Jewish schools having to protect themselves with armed security. Ignoring anti-Semitism is not an option. This is the moment to take a stand. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, that's the IFCJ, is on the front lines providing real help where it's needed most. They're giving food and shelter to Jewish families that feel under threat. They're helping survivors of hate rebuild their lives, and they don't just respond to crisis. They work every day to prevent it. Your gift of $45 will help support their life-saving work by helping provide food, shelter, and much more. Supporting the IFCJ is a spiritual stand, too. Please call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-4325. You can also go online to ifcj.org. Every dollar helps. Don't wait. Be the difference. Visit ifcj.org or call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-IFCJ.